I'd love to just ask you a little bit about, in terms of kind of advocating for ourselves and becoming more valuable to the organization. How important is it to be the voice of the customer inside of the organization? Because most organizations lack that, truthfully.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me where companies fit customer support into their org structure and the leadership of customer support in particular. I'm always honored even to be a VP of customer support because I know a lot of companies don't take it to that even that level. And we did some very thoughtful restructuring of the businesses because we merged, I forgot to mention too, we merged 6 businesses together in a very short period of time, and we're part much larger parent company, and it's the first time they've ever attempted a truly integrated model. So I had to bring all of these support teams from all of these different parts of businesses that never worked together, or when it was really exciting, they sold against each other. And we said, hey, guess what? We're all friends now. We're all going to skip on the lane in the sandbox. And I hope you all love each other. But it helped me get a seat at a more senior table because of the complexities involved in how do you integrate all this technology together? How do you get all of these people into an org structure that makes sense? How do you not lose a customer when we have, 13 different support teams? How do you not lose them in the shuffle of now all of these fully integrated businesses? At least we think they're fully integrated. Customer may or may not perceive them as integrated businesses. We had a lot of customers at our first trade show that had no idea we had all merged, 6 months before that. And so I kind of use that as a little bit more of a leverage tool. And so I'm fortunate in that I'm reporting to the regional president who reports to our company. So I have a pretty short trajectory, and I try and be really thoughtful of when I leverage being a veterinarian, when I leverage being the formal voice of the customer in those types of leadership meetings. And when I'm just advocating for my team, I try and be really cautious of not doing any one of those things too often because I don't want to be a veterinary expert at the table, right? I want to be the voice of the Antech customer. So I try and use some discretion. And I think that just comes with years of experience of knowing when to put your foot on the gas and when to feather it a little bit. But I'm really fortunate in, I think, being a veterinarian. So having a doctor title does help a little bit in my role. I mean, in the industry now for almost 30 years, right? So I come with extreme knowledge of the customer in multiple different situations. And it helps a lot, right? It really does help. But I feel in talking with my peers who I'm bringing from other big companies, right? I've got someone that works for me that came from Best Buy and Nordstrom and Wayfair, who's got a lot of varied experiences and support. And he's really fascinated that we're able to have such a direct line of sight to the top, if you will. I can let anyone on the C-suite team know, hey, this is going on with the customer. It might impact your part of the business. You should be aware of this. Can you help me fix it? And I have great traction. I thought a really great C-suite team. They're very engaged and they are always thinking about what is it that the customer needs? What is it that the customer wants? And I know that's a bit unique sometimes in businesses too, but in a really successful business, hopefully that's always the motivator of the C-suite is what's going on with the customer. I think every company should have a leader of customer support integrated with their customers, right? So in my case, I know the veterinary customer well, but what about people who aren't as familiar with their industry? It's important to get out there to understand. Like if it's a retail store, get out into the retail stores and watch what customers are doing, right? Pretend to be a customer yourself and just kind of get a feel. If it's a service, go out and understand how is your customer using that service. That's really important. You have to understand your customer in order to have, I think, the authenticity to get the C-suite even interested in what you have to say about the customer. So I challenge all of my peers out there to be really hands-on if they can. And I would hope they should be able to really understand how their customers are utilizing the tools, services, or merchandise that's being sold by the company.